the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq 100. Now, what I want to start with, what I want to attack first is where QQQ is. Okay, this is we're going to go to the weekly real quick just to make it as quick as possible. Okay, QQQ, you are at all-time highs. SPY, you are very, very close to all-time highs. Okay, so just bear with me. Now, what's happening at these levels? On the 2-hour chart, it becomes very clear. SPY, you were rejecting. You've started to mount this level coming into today, Tuesday, and you're pushing all-time highs. Qs, you've already done this. You mounted the level, you pushed up. I believe SPY is on that same track. Okay. Now, there's things that happened last night and that were said today that I believe are pointing us to price discovery and some very big pushes across the board. I want to make that very clear. Before I get into that, I ask you to do two things. Consider liking and subscribing. It helps out tons. Every single day I make videos for you so you are prepared. The Discord link is down below if you're interested, but I believe we're sold out right now. There should be spots available, I believe, in the beginning of the year. So make sure you're checking that out. If you want to see updates as well, Twitter link is down below for all the charts. A lot of free stuff as well. I can only do so much, but it's all there, covering the account, etc. Okay, so where we're pushing, how we're moving. Really good push. I think this continues. Number one, last night, BOJ announced that they are not raising their interest rates. If there's ever been a bullish statement, that is it. Continues to leave their basically 0% interest rates in the BOJ. Asia pushing for growth across the board, saying they can invite inflation. Very bullish thing there. Number two, the Fed continues to hint at rates cuts coming sooner than later. Right, especially with the track and how inflation has been moving to the downside as of recent. Very bullish here as well. Okay, before I go into Qs, Nasdaq, etc., let's look at what's happening here with some of the big indicators. The dollar last night. Okay, with that news last night from Japan, giving you a quick view, you shot up overnight. The dollar got a lot of strength versus the yen, and then started coming back down. It should not have come back down. That means the dollar is extremely weak if it's coming down like that. On top of that, versus every other currency, the dollar is still showing loads of weakness, okay? You have our chart prime zone showing you that sellers are quickly stepping in there, and we're trying to push back down. Big level around 101.4 as well, okay? Again, not a good sign. A step further, and this is probably the biggest indicator of risk on, in my opinion, and the best thing overall. And I have a huge play I mentioned in Discord today. I'll share it with most likely YouTube on Thursday or Friday, so make sure you're here. But yeah. Okay. So this is the 30-year yield, and I want you to fall in love with this chart for a few reasons. One of the big reasons why we were so bullish on Netflix, AVGO, Nvidia, LRCX, Upstart, a lot of these names was because of the underlying strength from yields in the bond market, right? I said, if you break below 2022 highs, I believe this is a large signal for buyers, okay? That was roughly here on the 4th of December. Okay, you had lots of time to trade from then. Well, now you're at the next level already, and it happened quick, and it's 4%. Giving you a visual, in 2022, when we made our high here on the 30-year yield, we rejected and quickly came back below 4%, and that's where we held until we had our next really big bear run or pullback on the market, right? It was 4%. If you break below 4% on the 30-year yield, I believe it's a monster risk-on buy signal across the market. I think a few things are going to happen very quickly once that happens. And again, people aren't going to like this. You're going to get, some people are going to be confused by this statement. Some people are going to comment random things and say Tyler doesn't know what he's talking about. The housing market's trash. There's a major recession, whatever. I don't care. Don't care. Telling you what's going to happen. If you start holding and get below 4% on yields, on the 30-year yield, first of all, the rest of the yields are going to start dropping as well. But you're going to see mortgage rates start to drop without the help of rate cuts. That's going to be big. It's going to happen. This could send the housing market into a little bit of a surge, a bit of buying increased at the beginning of the year. Why? You're going to have income taxes. You already have pent up demand in the housing market. Massive pent up demand. Massive. Any type of help in that area will quickly stimulate that side of the market. You also have Biden trying to stimulate the housing market by offering these like new first home buyer deals, right? These are across the board huge. I'm telling you, if you get below 4%, it's a huge indicator for upside on the market. I'm just saying, you're going to be upset. Some people will. I'm not saying the housing market is very bullish, right? It will probably cause problems down the line. Short term, it will be good. Okay. Right. Also, too, you see my levels on here, too. Everyone always asks about my levels, my indicator. That's my chart prime indicator. The link is down below. Make sure you check them out if you're interested. Okay. Going a little bit further, though. That was what I really wanted to cover there. Okay. Now, Qs, SPY, Nasdaq. Now, Nasdaq, okay, you get a little bit of help here. So, Nasdaq, you're pushing back into highs locally. I think you're going to be pushing back to highs pretty quick. You mounted 17K today on Nasdaq. That was the big thing you needed to mount. ES, you're pushing up as well. You're doing your thing very strong. Okay, so again, SPY, you're looking for an all-time high test over the next day or two. Qs, you're officially in price discovery, so things could get kind of crazy here. And buying could get really crazy. It's also worth mentioning all those options I showed you the past 2 days that are in the money for January, those are going to keep stacking up. They're going to keep stacking up. And you're going to see those contracts continue to roll over, and they're going to continue covering for those as well. This has potential to be a pretty big domino effect. Okay, so again, this is like best case scenario. Now on top of that, you have IWM mounting 200, which again was one of our big indicators as well. IWM mounting 200, your next target's like locally like 212, 210. And it could hit pretty, I think you really need to come down like to right there, like 209, right? I would say 209, like the bottom of this next little range. You get above 209, you're cooking, okay? So IWM has another room for another surge, like a $7 move, makes like 3.5%. Very strong potential there. Okay, so you know how I feel with the market. I'm still very bullish until proven otherwise. Everything looks really strong. But yes. And to give you food for thought, I recommend if you're like net bearish on the market, go look at what happened the last time you broke all-time highs here. You broke all-time highs here in October 2019. How much did you run before you got a real pullback? I encourage you just to go look at the numbers. Don't trust me. I'm not even going to give you a number. I would rather you go look at it so you can get an idea for yourself. The average move will surprise you. And so if we are breaking all-time highs and we get a push here, could be crazy. And for people calling for a double top, I just want to let you know, if you're trying to trade a double top, you cannot trade a double top unless you break the neckline, which is down here. So yeah, kudos, best of luck. Let me know how it goes. And also being bearish. Wow, that's crazy. Okay, so that's where we're at right now and how we're moving. Very strong, looks good. You love to see what we're seeing. Good continuation as well here. Okay, you're pushing up. Now again, the videos have remained pretty short because I like the movement on the market. There's not too much to cover there. There's not too much to give you an update on rather than some of the levels I'm watching. Now, first of all, Netflix. I want to go to the daily chart because this is an absolute beautiful this is beautiful. I'm going to tell you right now. I did it once. We did it twice. We did it 3 times. Now we're doing it 4 times. I hope that I'm getting through to people. When I talk about when you have big setup opportunities, massive breakout opportunities, you are getting time on your contracts. Everyone that's getting stopped out of positions is because you don't have enough time on your contracts. Simple as that. Okay. Netflix, you're running targets 507. That's the gap fill. But honestly, I think you could start pushing up higher. I really do think you could. Tesla, beautiful. Exactly what we wanted. Exactly what we wanted. Okay. If you're in Discord, also, I want to be super clear. Every day now in the mornings, I give you all a private video with everything that I'm liking, breaking it all down. And I give you a quick little rundown as well. I'll have this cleaned up as well, so don't get me wrong. Tesla. Talking about the day trade here. I told you the key levels. I showed you everything. You go back to yesterday's video as well. I showed you all the key levels where you were buying right here. 252 was the bounce into 257 a day. This was yesterday's video. Again, bouncing right into 257, trying to break out, pushing up. Tesla, great. Break, retest, pushing up. Great movement. Nvidia. Dear God, what a setup. beautiful. Okay, so let's go over a few things here. Nvidia, I love it. You push, you got the break, retest, you're pushing back up. Now, if you don't know the 3K count, we're almost at 9K. Like, dude, like, honestly, I don't even want to get too, like, conceited or cocky about this. We had a great trading over the past, like, month. But I want to be really clear that I couldn't have started this account at a better time. I knew we were about to break out. That's why I was kind of pushing for this account to start. But I knew the setups would be awesome. But it just shows you too, when you manage your account, you can open up the risk. And when you have time on contracts, you can really protect yourself. I want to make that really clear. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is go over something like Nvidia. And I don't always watch what's happening with open interest or things like that. I want to make that really clear. But there's some times when you need to. So we have the bot as well in Discord that shows you a lot of the open interest changes or big orders coming in. But these 500s right here, these ones right here. And I told you guys in Discord today when I signaled this earlier. That's pretty bullish, right? Now the question is how much of this volume converts into open interest tomorrow? But this open interest has been soaring. It's at 32,000. In comparison, 480 is the next closest at 9K. And the next one's like 520 out of the money at 12K. If these get in the money, again, Nvidia has massive potential to continue rolling here. And it's exactly what you want to see. Again, I love it. I love what's happening here. Very happy. Very strong movement here. Okay. Very, very strong. Okay. Next up, Amazon. Congratulations if you've been playing Amazon. You're basically at the target. Again, 156 possible coming in pretty soon. I think it'll run with Tesla as well, so keep those on your radar. Meta as well. Like, congratulations, guys. Meta, dude. Like, congratulations. You're going crazy. So, for myself, my favorite trades are Nvidia and Netflix. Netflix already have my whole position. I don't think it's something you can enter anymore. Nvidia, the levels you're looking at are 494 to 493. You want to hold that range. As long as you hold that, you're still very bullish. But it's important just to understand that, okay? There's nothing too much else out there. Now, there's some small caps I'm liking, and I think small mid caps, you can get very excited about those, okay? IWM breaking out is a key sign here. Now, again, the name I like is a small mid cap. It's mentioned in Discord already. I have to wait till Thursday, at least, at the very minimum, to tell you guys. I don't think it'd be fair to Discord. I love them. I gave you guys Upstart. We gave you guys a firm. So, yeah. But I still like a lot of these small caps. Still a lot of strength there. If I'm going to give you another one, though, let's just really quickly talk about one here. I'll give you one. Really quickly, Carvana. Now, this is the last thing I'm going to say before I head out of here. A lot of times people ask about penny stocks or cheap names or low floats whenever they're kind of just trading in a range. For instance, like go back to Upstart. Like people asking about Upstart, when you were trading in this range here between like 30 and like 21. I have no desire to trade that because all that chop. Now, when you break above 39, like I said, what was going to happen? It was going to go straight up immediately. It was just going to be volatile, immediate movement to the upside, right? And it was. It was very easy to trade. Like literally 3 weeks of just straight upside now, correct? But you have to know what you're trading and why you're trading it. It's because it was illiquid. Now, when I show you Carvana, it's an interesting one. It's an interesting one to say the least. Grabbing the volume profile here so you can see. There is nothing. When you look at liquidity, you get over this level, roughly 58. You get into an area of illiquidity, almost into like 98. But really, there's no liquidity all the way back up. Now, for me, again, I try to be, pessimistic with how much we could run here. Carvana. The options are expensive. The IV is like really high. I'll show you in a second. But again, I think you have room back into like 100, especially if you mount this level. You have to give yourself time. Again, I'll post some stuff on this on Twitter so you can see. Be careful, though. And to give you a viewpoint, this is why I love Options AI, is because of what you're able to look at here. Now, again, for instance, let me just backtrack. So let's say I'm trading Upstart. It's still a small cap. IV's a little bit high because how you've been moving. Yeah, your IV's like 100% right now. Yeah, actually, we got Upstart when the IV was like 20%, by the way. So let me go to something like, just really quick off the top of my head, let's go to Amazon, right? Typically, your IV 20 40% on the high end, right? You see that? Not crazy. If I go to Carvana, over the next year, not just few days, you're at 144% a week, 115, 111. You don't get under 100 for a long time. Your expected move at your next earnings, to give you an idea, is 39%. So when you're trading these mid caps, you have to know when you're getting an actual opportunity to buy. Okay? So I think there's a lot of risk associated with Carvana, but I think you can make a lot of money if you start getting that breakout to the upside, which I think you're already getting the breakout. Keep it on your watch list. That's all I'm saying. Interesting play. Do what you got to do there. I just like to give you guys plays so you have opportunities. Discord, I'll give you a breakdown of everything else as well. That's my rundown for the day. Hope you get something out of this. Have a good one. Appreciate all love and support. You guys are killing it. See you tomorrow.